Okay, we are going to be looking at words from the green sort 33. Okay, so the words we are looking at today are the words that have the sounds ch. So words like teacher. So we'll have teacher. So it's the sort of ch sound. These slash marks here mean that is describing a sound. Sometimes you will have seen me do that when I'm describing a sound, almost like it's quoting someone. But you can also have these slash marks. So if you ever see that written, this means it's literally describing the sound. So ch, teacher. That's not, with those slash marks, that's not how it's written. Okay, we've got also ch, very, is it identical? Teacher, capture, yeah. Okay, so we've got two different ways to get the ch sound. We've got ch as in teacher. So I'm going to actually put this word here. Teacher. Teacher. And we've also got chua. But it also makes the ch sound. So you listen. So we've got teacher, teacher, and picture. Teacher and picture. Really pretty much identical sound, spelt differently. So we're going to be looking at words that make this sound, but two different categories of words that make this sound. So we've got the ch and the chua. I'm just saying those in an exaggerated way to highlight the spelling, but when we say it, it's ch. Teacher, picture. We'll look at more examples of words that fit into those categories. Okay, so we're looking at the ch sound at ends of words. We are also looking at the zh sound. Je. Je. So I'll give you an example. We actually spell it S-U-R-E, and an example is in a word like measure. So can you hear that zh sound? Measure. Okay, so S-U-R-E says zh at the end of words. On its own, it looks like shore, doesn't it? Okay, and the last sounds, we've got one, ch, sound one. Sound two is zh. And our third and final sound is y. Okay, so that is U-R-E. So see this U-R-E, U-R-E, U-R-E is sort of a bit of a theme. So you'll see those, that ending is cropping up in all our types of sounds. So our third sound is y. And the example I'll give you here is the word failure. Failure. Okay, so we've got ch, two different ways to spell it. Teacher, picture. We've got zh, measure. And we've got y, as in failure. So there's not really any rules I can teach you in the sense that, oh, this is how you decide to use this one, this is how you decide to use this one. We might see some patterns cropping up, but really it's just a case of us exposing ourselves to the word, observing that there are these two different ways to write ch. So when you come across a word that says ch, you might think, which one shall I use? And also if you have a word that sounds like je, you'll know how to spell it. That you know that when words say je at the end, it's S-U-R-E. So remember at the end of term spelling test, when you get exposed to words you don't know, this is when you pull in all your learning from the term and you can use your newfound knowledge to spell words correctly that you've never seen before, because you know that the je sound is spelled S-U-R-E, for example. Okay, so I think at this point I'm actually just going to take you through a word sort. We can talk about the meaning of the words and we can observe these spelling patterns that I've shown you here. Tissue to wipe that down. Okay. Right, so we've got ch. Now remember, this is spelling. The sound is ch, really. Okay, we've got chewer, which is also equal to the same ch sound. And we've got je, which is je. Kind of a hard sound to write, really. Je, measure. And then we've got two words down here. I'll just put that so I've run out of room. That makes the y sound, as in figure, failure. Okay, so I might just put some heading lines under that to distinguish. Okay, so there are 4 headings. We've got 2 types of ch, one je and one y. Okay, so we're going to listen to the words, and just by their sound we'll be able to put them in 1, 2 or 3. We won't know which one of these until we look at the word. So let's do these 2 first, because there's not too many words in that, and then we'll see if we can see any patterns between whether we spell it with a ch or chewer. Okay, so let's do our je and ewer words. So we've got words like measure, measure, measure. We've got pressure. Oh, actually, sorry, pressure is, I think we might put that in our oddball, actually. So let's ignore pressure. Okay, so we've got measure. We've got pleasure, pleasure. We've got leisure. What do you like to do in your leisure time? Means like your relaxation time, leisure. Oh, I do that. I do crosswords for leisure. Treasure. Treasure hunt. Treasure. So we can see this very clear spelling pattern here. And each time it says je. Measure, pleasure, leisure, treasure. So we get that je sound using the S-U-R-E at the end of words. Okay, what about, just going to do this to distinguish that, because that is starting to blend in. Okay, so let's do our your words. We've only got 2, easy. We've got failure and we've got injure. Not such a great word, but it does still make that y sound. Okay. And we've got, okay, so let's move to our words. Let me just check that's not glaring out in that little bottom corner. No, that's good. You can still see that. Okay, so we've got, right, our ch and ch words. So let's look at a word future. So we could spell it future or future. Can you tell by looking at that which one's right? Hopefully you can see that this is the correct one. So we'll put it in this column. Future. I look to the future and hope that I'm really good at spelling. Okay, what about nature? Nature. Is it nature or nature? There are 2 spelling options. We can spell it with ch or ch. Which one looks right? Hopefully you can see that this one is right. Nature. Okay, what about teacher? Teacher or teacher. Hopefully you can see this one's right. So we've got teacher. So I'm just looking at these words thinking, I wonder if when you've got a double vowel, you use the ch, when you've got a single vowel, you use the chewer. Not sure. Let's see. Let's see if that pattern. But my brain's just thinking about looking for patterns. Okay, I've got mixture, mixture. That's got 1 vowel and 2 consonants. Creature, no. See, this is just proving my rule wrong. Because you see I've got the 2 vowels, but I'm using ch. Creature. So if you look at the word creature, creature, and teacher, they actually, if you take off the first two letters, see how they're exactly itcha, itcha? So they should technically be the same, but they're not. So creature is chewer and teacher is chur, to make exactly the same sound. Itcha, itcha. Creature, teacher. So there you go. So my double vowel rule didn't pan out, but at least I was looking for it. Okay, so this is one of those things where you really just have to expose yourself to the correct spelling and be aware there's two different ways to spell it and just learn which one to use by sight, really. So we've got pasture, like we put the cows out to pasture. Posture, stand up straight so that you have good posture. Torture, don't torture me with more spelling practice. Torture, culture. So these are all T-U-R-E words. Let me see if I've got them all. There's picture as well, which we talked about before. Picture, nature, capture, capture, capture the enemy. So we've got capture, we've got future, mixture, creature, pasture, posture, torture, culture. Good. Okay, I've got all those words. Let's see if we can find some more chur words. What you're going to see is this is more common. So you're going to see that the T-U-R-E is more common to make the ch sound. The C-H-E-R is, funnily enough, less common. So what about the word stretcher? Stretch, stretcher. Richer, richer. I guess one pattern I'm seeing is actually if you take the ER off, that's a base word. So teach, stretch and rich are all base words. So maybe that's something to keep in mind. Whereas crete, post, taught, that's if I take off the y or the end, the very end of that's not giving me base words. Fute and future is not, they're not. Whereas teach and teacher, stretch, stretcher, rich, richer. So who knows, maybe we've got a base word pattern happening here. But either way, you need to expose yourself to these words during the week. Oh, quickly, we've got 3 oddballs. Okay, we've got senior, senior. So it's certainly not using this y spelling, which is a bit annoying. It's senior, danger, danger. So we've got that j sound, but it's not spelled like that. And we've got figure, which almost could go under there, I think. You could sort of have figure here or here. I don't mind, whichever one you prefer. So I think it's very similar to injure, figure. Anyway, you can have figure there or there. I don't mind. And that's it. That is your word sort for this week. So have fun practicing those words. Okay, bye.